today is the MD. Another MD will come. So it means that the day we start to work, we need to recognize that there will be a day when we exit. And the best way to begin to plan for retirement is to begin at the very start and to look at the end. Always have the end in mind. When I get a job today, I should also think about when I'm out of that job. And you can be out of that job in many ways. Some of you, you will work and retire on the basis of age, those that are lucky. Some of you, the employer, will go through certain changes and they can no longer have all employees on their payroll and you might be forced out. Some of you may simply make your choice and say, I'm no longer interested in working for a company, let me go and work for myself. Either way, you still need to have planned better during the time when you had income flowing on a consistent basis. So plan with the end in mind. What kind of retirement do you want to have? Where do you want to retire to? What kind of lifestyle do you want to live? That lifestyle cannot be lived by accident. You've got to consistently plan when you still have a steady income. So part of that income should go towards activities that put you in a better place when you are no longer actively employed. So begin with the end in mind. We've observed certain things that happen in this space called retirement. One of it is something that we call longevity. If you read the report from UBOS, our lifespan has increased. Our lifespan or our life expectancy at birth today is 68 years. Some years ago, Ugandans used to say they don't live beyond 40. That has changed. Our new life expectancy at birth is 68. By the way, I'm emphasizing at birth because when you are 60 today and you are retiring, we no longer look at the 68. For you, you've got a chance of living for another 20 plus years. So people that are 60 today, 55 today, you have a chance of living for another 20 to 25 years. So our life expectancy has improved. But as it improves, and you know that you're going to live longer when you're no longer actively employed, how are you planning for those extended number of years? The bad news is that for women, it is even higher. The women will live on average longer than this what? Age. And I keep joking with my team and I say, why is it that women tend to outlive us? Why is it that you find more widows than you find widowers? And someone told me that it's because men by our nature, every day we take risks to protect our women. You don't agree? That is why we die earlier, because we are risking such that women can live what? Longer. All the men tend to agree. But the key message is this, that you are likely to live longer when you no longer have a steady income called a salary. So longevity has got implications how you plan for your old age. If you can, start saving early. If you're in this room and you are still young, that is your perfect time to start saving. If your employer is not, paying the right amount, report early. Sometimes you might come to report when the employer no longer exists. So please report when? Today. Because that gives you a chance to save more money. So begin saving early. NSSF flow was amended. Today it is possible for you to contribute more than 5%. So consider matching what your employer is saving for you. If the employer is saving for me 10%, why am I saving 5%? I can also begin saving 10%. That will mean that my total balance with NSSF will multiply much faster than if I remain saving the 5% that is provided for by the law. So please consider saving more. And you can. People will say, no, the salary is small, but you can save more if you deliberate about it. So consider matching what your employer is saving. But most importantly, have additional arrangements to cover you in your old age. I can confirm to you that the money that many of you have in NSSF will not be sufficient. So what more are you doing with the rest of the income that you have? What additional plans are you undertaking? Because you live longer, and old age poverty is extremely difficult to handle. The other key aspect is around parenting. Many of us in this room are parents. We have children. It was fashionable so many years ago in Africa to leave our old age planning to our children. So all that a man did was to have as many wives and as many children. And because the number of children was very big, you took a gamble and said, if they are 20, at least 3 or 4 of them may look after me. Today we are producing less. I don't know whether our fertility has gone down or the economy is so hard that we are mindful. But today we're having less and less children. So even the gamble that 1 or 2 of them may look after me may not actually materialize. Today, it would be a big mistake for anyone in this room to not plan for yourself and think that your children will look after you. The bad news is that most of your children will not look after you. In fact, what is even happening these days, that there are parents in this room that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and they are still looking after their children. They are still adult children living with their parents. So if that child of yours is still living in your house and you expect that they will look after you, you need to make a lot more money, because in addition to looking after yourself, you might also continue looking after your own children. But it is also depressing for you to have children and you think they'll take care of everything. You don't want a situation where even your children fear to visit you, because every time they visit, daddy or mommy wants what? Money. You can also be the kind of parent that children come to visit and you even have the means to support them, especially if they have businesses. The people that believe in the Bible, it even talks about leaving an inheritance for your children's children. So how do you leave an inheritance for your children's children when your expectation is that for you it is your children who should leave an inheritance for you, the parent? It will not happen. So what are some of the practical tips? Number 1, if possible, and I'm using a big if possible, let's have children early. Let's have children early, educate them early, so by the time we are retiring, we no longer have children that are still in what? In school. Of course, there could be legitimate reasons why for some people, children may not come early. But if it's within your control, please have those children early, when you still have the energy, when you still have the income. And again, except if you can't avoid it, except if you have legitimate reasons, please don't have children in retirement. So I am 60 and that's when I'm picking a new what? A new wife. I'm 65 and my wife is 25. Of course, she'll want to have what? Children. So for some reason, if I must remarry, I mean, if there must be a valid reason, you never know. And I'm 65, I'll not go and pick a girl of 25. Maybe I'll look for a woman that is also done with having what? Children. All I'm looking for is someone that can give me company. So if it's within your control, please don't have children when you are no longer working, when you are much older, and when you don't have a steady income, because children are an expensive affair. It is also good to have a mindset where you expect no support from government and from your own children. Government is already constrained enough. It must take care of health centers, of roads, okay, of the drainage in Kampala and in Mbale. That government has big problems that it will not know that someone in Manafa is suffering in their old what? Old age. So don't expect that support. Although the good news is that government tries to support. Have you heard about something called SAGE? SAGE is for older persons. The definition of older persons according to ILO are people that are 65 years and above. But because government could not afford to pay all of them, the government of Uganda has its own definition. Ours are people that are 80 years and above. So, and why did the government take it to 80? Because it just cannot afford. And should it happen that those who are above 80 refuse to die early, government might again adjust to 90. And by the way, those people are receiving only 25,000, but it has significantly changed their life. It is about consistency of that money coming. That even if I don't have sugar, I can go to the neighboring duka or shop. They'll give me a kilo of sugar because they know that at the end of the month, my surge of 25K is coming. If you don't have any expectation, no one will give you sugar. I keep telling people a story of my father who died when he was almost 80, okay? And we lived in the village in Mayuge. But every day at about 2 p.m., 3 p.m., there were about 3 men that visited my father every day. I was much younger because I'm not a planned kid. I came when my father was my grandfather. Okay? But look, these men kept coming every day. In my mind, I thought they loved my father so much. Later on, I learned that my dad never ran out of Bell beer. So these guys came every day religiously because they were guaranteed at least a bottle of beer. And at their age, even half a bottle of beer knocked them out. But they had great company. They spoke about their early years as, youth, chasing girls around town.